So she now asked me at the end of the day. I remember because I went to the bank right before they closed. She calls and she's just like, the rush of it, again, I don't remember the details, but the rush of it was a lot of words. Remember, this is not a person whom, there's one time that I gave her money, and she was a single parent. I was not. She was having some problems with paying a bill. She was saying she didn't have money for like her electric. And at that time, when your friend was in need, it might have been something like $300. I gave it to her, and even though she was late with paying me back, she showed up when she had the money and she repaid me without me asking or pressing her. But other than that one time, and at this point in time, over 20 years of friendship, we never had any money transactions. So you have to keep that in mind of how she caught me off guard. I haven't seen her in a while. We're catching up. We had the weird sushi dinner. I'm like, okay, that's odd. She must really be going through something, because she kept emphasizing, my money's tight. We don't have money. Is enough that I knew this must be hard. This is hurtful. But I had never been in that position myself, so I didn't really fully get it. I've been in a position like that after that time. So now I know when you're hurting for money, it's a very urgent need. So I'm like, what are you saying? Because she's calling me with this thing. And I'm like, so what are you saying? You need me to give you some money? Because I'm kind of mad. Like, why me? Why are you calling me? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, and I said, and you're going to have it on Friday. And she's like, yeah, my check does come through on Friday, but it has to be in the account today for this thing to hit. So I didn't have it real detailed. I wasn't alarmed by her urgency because, again, she's never behaved like this before, and she tends to be hyper dramatic. So I'm like, what's the account number or whatever? I think maybe we banked with the same bank, so it was easy enough. I went down to the teller. I put the money in her thing. I called her. It's like, girl, I'll put it in your account. Well, we know what happens, right? Friday, I didn't hear from her or whatever. I wasn't tripping. I let it wait. I think I called her like, hey, girl, did you put the money in? Again, this story isn't going to be good in terms of details because this was over 10 years ago. So I don't remember exactly what she said and all of that. But you can see where it ends up. If I'm over 10 years ago, I still don't have that money. Yes, I still don't have that money. I think she may have given me like $100 once. Not even 100. It was about $87. And let me tell you about that part. So I call her, and yeah, that was the time where I was like, what are you saying? Because this is when I'm feeling really aggressive. So I call her. It wasn't when I put the money in. It was when I was calling on like that Friday. And she's like, that's when she was popping. She was popping the day she was asking for the money. But when it's time to repay, there was a lot of, and this thing, bro, matter of fact, I got the story wrong. She was pressing me out about the money a little bit more in the beginning, but the emphasis on her dude and how he pisses her off and he did all this crazy stuff was when I was trying to get it back. When I called and was like, where's my money? And she's going off the handle, and that's why I can't stand him, and he this and he that, and I just can't believe him, and I'm just so upset. And I'm like, what are you saying? Are you saying you don't have my money? Yeah, not right now. Sis, I'm taking care of children. I'm not rich at all. Are you really telling me that you took $1,000 from your friend? Someone you call a sister? At this point in time in my life, let me just say, I'm not a fighter. You know, everybody, like, part of the reason I even chose to do a story time is because I see these young girls telling their stories, and I'm like, you ain't know that? You should have known that. But they're young, and I'm older than them. I could be some of these girls' mom. But I like the fact of it is therapeutic. But again, a lot of the stories I see is this, it's become standard to be very hood, and I'm a snatch your wig, and I was a grown woman with children. I was a teacher. There's no way that I was going to go over here and physically assault this woman over my money, even if in my soul that's what it felt like I wanted to do. There's no way that, I know her children. I know her family. Like, beating her up wasn't the answer. But I sure felt like that was the solution, if that makes sense. This ain't the right thing to do, but this is what's going to make me feel better. You can't just walk away with my money. But because of our relationship, because of our history, did I think that she was doing that? No. I'm like, she's sloppy. I just had the sushi dinner that was a little sloppy. And now this is sloppy. And I've known her to be sloppy. And I said we've had one other time that I gave her money when she was in a bind, and she didn't repay it when she said, but she did. And that definitely stuck in my mind when she asked me this time. Again, this is the only time. I have one other incident. So this is the only, I don't do friends, money, loans, transactions. If you're in need and I have it, I would just give it to you. That's how I roll. I've given friends money in need, but I don't even do this. So this is foreign territory. That's the part about this that always makes me think. Like, from when you look at things sometimes from a spiritual perspective, like, what was it? What were the different, look at all the set of circumstances. You would never think to ask me for $1,000 if you hadn't called when I happened to have a hit on my account that made me tell you what's in my account. That's not something that I discuss with anyone. But in those days and when I was younger, I managed to save a nice amount of money in a short time, and I was excited. So the only way that people would know what I had was very close friends that I know are like insiders. They know what this means. They know that I've been living off $100 in the bank for the past 5 years. And now to have accumulated 10,000 feels really good. I'm really excited. I'm like, girl, guess what? I've saved up $10,000. So I maybe 2 very close friends. And I might add that the people who did know, who I considered more close and insider, both of them at some point said to me, girl, I may need to borrow some money. And I was like, bloop, 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 doo, 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 doo. Like, I didn't hear anyway, girl, so what you say? You just started, how'd your job go today? I'm like, are you crazy? We're going to act like you didn't even say that. I can't say enough. When you are the sole provider for a family of 5, I'm not rich. Don't let anything fool you, okay? So I remember being almost like, did she really just ask me for money? But I knew with both of those women that both of them were in such a tight situation. Both of them had lost their jobs. This was in that kind of recession right before Obama got elected time. So I waited. I was cool. I was pretty cool. I was mad. And I did when she called and was like, "Da, da, da." I said, "What are you saying? Are you saying you don't have my money?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm just saying on Monday I'm at," so she put it off to another thing. I, again, did not have a strong reason to not believe her. It was messy, but she was messy, notoriously so. So that wasn't such a, like she can be that way. I'll get it next week. I don't like this. This is pissing me off. It's messed up. I'm trying not to use foul language. It's messed up that she's doing this. It's messed up that she put me in this bind. It's messed up that it's messy, period. So fast forward, I don't get my money. Time goes on. I can't remember her excuses and what have you, but I'm still like, I'm going to be on it. Like I had enough patience until a certain point. And now I'm like, what's going on? I'm going to need you to call me. What is going on? So then she's like, girl, guess what? She calls me. She wants me to go out. She wants me to go out. This is crazy. When we get to, this is like scene 2. So the first scene was the thievery. No, the first scene was the phone call and her happening to jump in when I've exposed what's in my bank account. Second scene is the sushi restaurant. Third scene is the day when she rang my phone off the hook and I made the stupid choice to let her borrow money for 2 days. So now we're up to, she never gave the money back. I'm really mad. I don't know what exactly was happening in my life at that time. And I do know what was happening. I was moving into this house that I live in right now. And so I was in the process of that. I had a death in the family, those types of things. So I had stuff going on that was major. It was pretty major, moving an entire family into a new house and the death of a loved one that got struck by a car. So that was like pretty, as a matter of fact, 3 loved ones that got struck by a car. We had 2 deaths like that in a row in my family in September and in October. So in this overwhelm, I guess I just kind of let it go. I'm hot. I'm mad. I'm not letting the money go. I'm just letting the pursuit of it, again, because my feeling is I want to put hands on this woman. I want to hurt her. But I know I can't do that. I mean, my mind even went through, is there somebody else that I could get to do this? A little sis? You know how people do, they call their cousin. No. I'm like, no. So the day comes where she's like, girl, I got some good news for you or something. And I was like, oh, okay. She's like, I got your money. I finally got your money. I was like, okay, good. She said she had the money. She's like, yep, I want you to come out to this spot. Her man, DJ, I want you to come out to the spot. I was like, okay. So I go out, I think my kids were just at that age where I could leave them. So I'm going out, get dressed. It's a new life for me. Leave the kids and go out. Because I've been in the house all this time, not partying, not hanging out, just raising children. So I go meet her. I think I went out to eat. Maybe I went out to eat by myself, or she and I went out to eat. When we sit down, I'm like, put the money on the table. She's like, girl, she wants me to go to this spot with her dude and a little party. Okay, but I'm not really a party girl like that. But all right, I'll still, again, remember I told you we had grown apart. We're about 2 different lives. I don't go hang out in clubs and party at my age at that time. I just wasn't into that. But I could still, I wasn't, it wasn't like I couldn't do it. It just wasn't usually what I did. So I'm like, okay, we could go out. So we eat. And again, I'm expecting you paying this bill with my money? Where's my money? As a matter of fact, I think I ate thinking, good, my money's coming. Here's another thing. By this time, now I'm laid off. So remember I said my friends were laid off. We were in a recession. I was still working. Things were fine. Now, by the time she's telling me she has the money, it's different. The money in the bank has decreased substantially. And I'm not working full time anymore. So I have some work, but now I'm like, good, I need this money. So glad the timing was right. See how God works. She pissed me off, but she's got my money. I'm so glad. Let me go meet her, get my money. It couldn't have come at a better time. This is what I'm thinking. Let me go ahead and order a meal. And I order a meal. And I'm looking at her like, shouldn't you like pay for it with my money? But she was funny. I'm keeping my class. So I can't remember when she gave me this money. So we went to the club. So now we ate. I think I ate by myself. And then I met her and we went to the club. So I was just thinking like, good, I could order because I know I got this money coming back. I don't have to feel so tight. And I think she's going to put the money on the table. We don't play with my money. You put it on the table when you see me. Like, let's take care of this first, then we can have a good time. That's not what we did. We go in the club. Oh, my goodness, this spot. It was seedy. It was not cute. I did not want to be there. It was, I didn't even know, call me naive, even at that age. But like I said, I have been almost in a cocoon at home, raising children. I come out and there's like, I don't know, sex transactions happening. And when I say transaction, I don't mean someone's a little drunk, they got a little hot with their lover. No, that's what I'm used to from my time. No, when I say transaction, I mean upstairs there was this dirty looking bathroom. It was disgusting. And I believe sex transactions like was happening up there. And it was like stripper or something. I don't know. It was really a humdinger. I had never been in a place like this. I was shocked because if you're from the D.C. area, it was in Adams Morgan, which I hung out in Adams Morgan since I was a teenager all the time. And I had never seen anything like this in Adams Morgan. I was like, what is this place? I didn't even know these things go on. It was disgusting. I'm getting frustrated. I'm in my own car, keys, I can leave, but I don't have my money. So I'm like, girl, where's the money? Where's the money? And she's like, oh, I got it. I told you she tends to be dramatic and all over the place and popping off. And wait a minute, hold on, I got to get this and then get dressed. But girl, hold on, let me get, all this drama all the time. So, okay. So then somehow we leave that place and we go to another place. I am a mother, I can't say it enough, who does not party like that. I'm usually home with my children. Here I am out. It's a Saturday night. I'm like, okay, I'm only out because I want my money. But since she invited me to a little set, I'm like, okay, sure, I'll go. But I'm thinking you're going to put this money in my hand. I'm going to take the money. I can party, dance, and then be like, all right, girl, I'm going home. No, you've got me like dragging around. Long story short, I'm going to end it at this one because there's some more to it. But in terms of me getting my money back, at the end of that night, she ends up taking me to another place. It's an after-hours spot. I think her man was working there, DJing or something like that. It's all the way across town. This is like in Hyattsville, something like that. And I'm over there, and I'm like, where's my money? And she's like, hold on. He got to give me the thing. He won't give me the car. I got to go to... It was another like... But she goes to the ATM or whatever and gets some money. I got to wait for him to come back. And finally, she comes to the car and she hands me like a wad of money. I'm talking about I'm in the car. It's 3 a.m. This has dragged out all night. It's almost daybreak. I'm going home. I do not do that. I don't party like that. I don't leave the kids at home for this long. And I just want my money. And it's like a peaceful parting. I just want you to give me my money. And so this doesn't have to turn into something else. And then you don't ever have to worry about calling me about anything like this again. I'm not blowing up your spot. I'm not telling all of our mutual friends. I'm not putting you on blast. I'm not blasting you out on Facebook. Facebook was still relatively new back then. I'm just waiting for you to hand off this money, and then I'm gonna be good. And you can just be popping off and in strip clubs where they having sex in the bathroom for money or whatever. You can continue in this lane of debauchery. I'm just gonna chill in my lane of motherhood and money that I earned that's in the bank. Okay. So she gives me the wad of cash. Ask yourself, did I count that money? Did I? At 3 a.m. after she's dragged me out, I feel stupid. You know, when you tell the story, you're like, were you stupid? Why would you not? She has dragged this out forever. At the point where you're in her face, you need to... I didn't count it. Do you know when I got home, the money there was something like $87. It was a wad of cash. And it must have been ones and fives in there because it felt like a nice little wad. It wasn't even $100. If it was $100, it was something like 107, or I remember 7. I remember somehow it was a very small amount. In retrospect, maybe... Again, she behaved like a person on drugs to me. And I know a little bit now about people on drugs and how they do. And they have maybe some flashes of wanting to do the right thing. And I think maybe she realized in some hazy way, this is messed up. I got to get this girl this money. And so this coming out, maybe she was running some kind of game and trying to build up some money. Her man tips. I don't know what they were doing in this spot. And I have no idea. You can decide yourself what you think happened and what you think about it. I'm posting this so you could put it in the comments. And then I'll come back and tell how it all played out after, because it goes on. Oh, it goes on. All right.